Hi, Stephen Hoffman, Princeton Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, and welcome to Acupuncture Live. A lot of us are dealing with a lot of anxiety lately. I'm seeing a lot of that come through into my practice, whether it's anxiety primarily or other conditions that are exacerbated by anxiety. And it reminded me of something that happened a couple years back. I used to have a house kind of out in the woods, and one day in the fall, I went to put my boots on to go out and do some yard work, and one of the boots was filled with dog kibble. And I look at my dog, and she looks at me, and we shrug our shoulders and said, "How did this happen?" And then I realized that it was probably mice that were taking the dog kibble out of the dog bowl and going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And they filled the boot with dog kibble. I mean, there was enough dog kibble in the boot to last, 10 mice, 10 lifetimes. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, when does the mice look and say, yeah, you know what, I got enough. I can relax for a little while, kick back. The mice don't have an ability to do that. There's a primitive portion of the brain that drives that kind of instinctual behavior. And we still have that primitive part of the brain that drives that behavior. I need more, I need more, I need more. I got to prepare, I got to prepare, I got to prepare. And that can drive our anxiety. And then there are circumstances like we're dealing with now, which will exacerbate that type of behavior. We have an ability as humans to think about this behavior and to look at it and say, I got enough. I can kick back. I can go on vacation. But it is still very, very difficult for us to shut off that portion of the brain. It's a survival instinct. So what does this have to do with acupuncture? Acupuncture can provide a great deal of relief from this type of behavior. We can target portions of the brain with specific frequencies to produce gabapentin, which is kind of an off switch. We can short circuit that adrenal response and that fight or flight mode so that you're finally able to relax, get good restorative sleep, and let your body and your mind take a break and heal. So if you're dealing with anxiety, if you're dealing with problems that are exacerbated by anxiety, please give us a call, set up a consultation, and we'll see what we can do for you. Thank you.